now that we're 2 weeks into the NFL season, I thought it'd be a good time to play Contenders and or Pretenders here on Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. What we're going to do today is examine the 10 2-0 teams and then just go one by one. Is this team a contender or is this team a pretender? And I'll give my reasons why for each and every team. These are the 10 teams that have yet to suffer a loss. You've got the Bills, Bengals, Colts, Chargers, Eagles, Packers, Buccaneers, 49ers, Cardinals, and Rams. 10 teams that remain perfect 2 weeks into the season. Now, it's important to know what the data tells us. 79% of teams that start 2-0 since the NFL has expanded to 14 playoff teams, 7 in each conference, make the playoffs. That's 33 out of 42 teams that have started 2-0 since 2020. So there's 10 teams right now. If the data holds, 8 of these 10 teams will make the postseason. Now, I do want to make it clear, if I say contender, it's a little bit more than just making the playoffs in terms of what I think this could do. It may not necessarily be they're going to win the Super Bowl, but it's like, okay, it's not like a team that limps in and loses in the wild card. Same with Pretender. Pretender could still be a team I think makes the playoffs, but I don't view them as a real threat to make a run in the AFC or the NFC. So did just want to clear that up. Okay, that all being said, who is the best team in the NFL right now? You're picking one team through 2 weeks. Who has impressed you the most? Weirdly enough, I still might say Baltimore because other than a bad 5 minutes against the Bills, they've been pretty damn dominant, but they did lose that game. Plenty to choose from. Let me know. Best team in the NFL through 2 weeks. Okay, contender or pretender? We will start with the Buffalo Bills. This one's pretty easy. Obviously, they're a contender. Why? Because they've been a contender. They have one of, if not the best quarterback in the league right now in Josh Allen. The defense, I still have questions about, but I do think it's at least above average. They can run the rock with James Cook. The offensive line is excellent. The question is, can they just take the final jump, which is to get to the Super Bowl and hopefully win the Super Bowl as well? For them, to me, it's still going to come down to if they do run into the Chiefs again, and maybe this is the year they don't have to. Maybe the Chiefs just don't make the playoffs. They are 0-2. Do they have that dominant pass rusher that can wreck a game in the playoffs? That has held them back in those high-profile games against the Bengals a few years back when they lost, against the Chiefs the several times they have lost in the playoffs. If they have that guy or if they can acquire that guy, maybe they're a team to watch at the trade deadline, I think this could be the year for Buffalo, but they are absolutely a contender. How about the Cincinnati Bengals, who have started off 2-0, which is rare territory under Zach Taylor? They have not been a team that starts fast. That was an emphasis for them this year. You still have to put them in the pretender category because Joe Burrow may not return this year, and even if he does, it might be too late. And even with Burrow, I still had my doubts. I don't like the defense that much, although it was playing okay through 2 weeks. But now you've got Jake Browning. They've signed a couple quarterbacks. We'll see how it goes. There's a world they still make the playoffs, but unless Burrow gets back and is all the way back, they got no shot to make a run. And even if he is the Joe Burrow we know and love, I still have them a notch below other AFC teams. I don't view them as a team that can make a serious run, at least not right now. Okay, the Indianapolis Colts, perhaps the surprise team of the NFL, or at least the AFC, through 2 weeks, as Daniel Jones is playing good ball. I'm going to keep them in pretender status right now. But I am intrigued. They've caught my attention. I definitely think they could be a playoff team. Hell, they could win that division. The AFC South stinks once again. So, I've been impressed. Kudos to Shane Steichen. He clearly picked the right quarterback, at least for now, between Jones and Anthony Richardson. Jonathan Taylor's running the rock. Jones is just distributing the ball well. I don't think their defense is great, but if it's average and Jones keeps playing like this, they could be a playoff team. I don't think they could be a true high-level contender. But could they win 10 games and make the postseason? That's definitely possible. Pretender overall, but a team that has impressed me. Okay, the Los Angeles Chargers, to me, one of the most impressive teams in the NFL through 2 weeks with wins over the Chiefs and the Raiders so far. They're absolutely contenders for me. Justin Herbert feels like he's taken even another step in his game. He's playing like an MVP candidate right now. They're getting good contributions out of their skill guys. Keenan Allen looks leaner and quicker than he was last year in Chicago. He's making plays. Quentin Johnston, year 3, feels like he's kind of getting a little more consistent, taking that next step. They need to get the run game going with Hampton and Najee Harris, but doesn't feel like they've missed Slater too much up front. Joe Alt has slid over there. We'll see as the year goes on if that Slater absence is felt. But beyond all of that, their defense, guys, is freaking awesome. I don't know if you watched the Raiders game last night. They just don't miss tackles. They don't get lost in coverage. Jesse Minter has those boys playing ball, and if Herbert's playing like this, they can absolutely beat anybody. All right, today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. It's so awesome that football is back, which means daily fantasy sports is firing on all cylinders. You can play other sports in your PrizePicks lineup as well. You can use baseball players, basketball, and hockey as well when those sports come back, but it's never better than it is with football. The way it works is simple. You pick more or less on stat projections for 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineup right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money. For week 3, PrizePicks is offering a max discount with Patrick Mahomes more than half a passing yard. So I've taken that and I've made it a 3-player lineup. I like Caleb Williams to go more than 218.5 passing yards. That Cowboys secondary is struggling. So is the Bears secondary, and they're playing Dallas this week. Dak Prescott more than 250.5 passing yards, especially with Jalen Johnson out. That is a $20 lineup to win $105. Remember, those max discount plays can only be used once per user, so I've used it on that lineup. It's the only time I can use it this week. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Okay, Philadelphia Eagles. I know they're 2-0, and I know they just beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are the defending champs. Obviously, they are a contender. No one would shoot that down. They have been pretty underwhelming offensively, though. They might be dead last in passing, which, listen, they're a run-first team. They're a physical team, and that's why they're going to be a contender regardless because they're so dominant in the trenches. But Kevin Patullo actually under a little bit of fire from Eagles fans, even though they are 2-0, the new offensive coordinator. So I'm keeping an eye on that situation because they have not been potent offensively whatsoever. But they're 2-0. They're the defending champs. The roster's loaded. They're great in the trenches. They're going to be a tough out regardless. But they don't look like the team last year offensively, at least not right now. Okay, the Green Bay Packers, contender or pretender? They're a contender. They look really, really good so far, and they might have the best combination of 2 wins up to this point. They smoked Detroit, who came back and dropped 50 on the Bears, and they beat the Commanders, who I think are probably going to take a little step back this year, but they handled them pretty easily as well. Jordan Love's not playing awesome, but he's playing pretty good. Josh Jacobs is running the ball well. They're good on the offensive line. I still don't know if they have that true number 1 target, although maybe it's just Tucker Kraft, really good tight end, and they have an assortment of receivers. But more importantly, and something they've lacked really for a while, but last year you saw signs of it, and you're definitely seeing it after the Micah Parsons trade. This defense looks good, man. Year 2 with Jeff Hafley, you get him to come down from Boston College last year, made their defense above average last year, and this year it looks excellent. It really, really does. McKinney on the back end, the pass rush with Gary and Parsons, good linebacker play. There's just no weaknesses on that defense right now. So if Jordan Love plays good ball, they're going to be tough to beat. So, yeah, they are absolutely a contender at this point in the season. All right, we're going to do the other side of this video as well coming up, probably tomorrow. It should be the next video unless there's major breaking news. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We will examine the 0-2 teams and basically determine, are these teams cooked or are they not? So we will do that coming up as well. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We're dropping NFL and college football videos every single day. Okay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were one of my, not sleeper teams, but like kind of not mainstream teams that I liked that I thought had a path, could be a Super Bowl type of contender. I still have them in that category. Now, they haven't been dominant through these 2 games, but 2 good wins, right? Atlanta and Houston are 2 solid teams, and Baker Mayfield has driven them down late in both games, especially last night. Literally the final seconds, they punched that in to beat Houston. I just like their ingredients. Baker's not a top 5 guy, but I think he's a top 10 guy. The roster is effing loaded. The O-line, which, by the way, Gadecki went down last night at right tackle, so we'll keep an eye on that. But if he's healthy, once Tristan Wirfs comes back, that's one of the best tackle duos in the NFL. Their interior O-line is good. Year 2 for Graham Barton. They have 3 or 4 good receivers. Godwin's going to be back soon. Ekbuka looks good. Evans can still play. And Bucky Irving's a terrific back, and they have Rachaad White as well. Offense is loaded, and the defense looks better this year. Remember last year, they had a lot of injuries, and Bowles was kind of scrambling on that side of the ball, and it held them back. It's not an elite defense, but I think it's top half of the league, and that's kind of all they need with how good the offense is. So I think Tampa's got a shot to make a run this year. Okay, the San Francisco 49ers, I did reluctantly pick them to win the NFC West. Didn't have a great feel for that division heading into the season. Still don't, to be frank, but the 49ers are one of 3 2-0 NFC West teams. We'll talk about the other 2 in a second. I'm actually going to go pretender here. They probably should not have won in week 1 against the Seahawks. Seattle would love to have that game back. They skated by the Saints. I get it, Mac Jones play, but Mac Jones actually played really well. Like if Brock Purdy had that same stat line, that would have been, a more than acceptable game from Brock Purdy. 279 and 3 touchdowns against a Saints team. Barely won that game. I think they kind of fall into that category of, I think they're a playoff team. I don't view them the way I did a couple of years ago, where they have a top-flight defense. The defense is better under Saleh, but it's not dominant, although Nick Bosa's having a great year. We'll see. This is kind of a let's check back in a few weeks and see how they look. They are 2-0. I think they're better than last year. I don't view them as a top 2 or 3 team in the NFC, though. Okay, the Arizona Cardinals, also 2-0 in the NFC West. Obviously, a big year for Kyler Murray. He's made the playoffs once in 6 years. This is year 7. They've slowly gotten better each of the last couple of years under Jonathan Gannon. I still have them in the pretender category as well. Again, I think playoffs are on the table. That could absolutely happen, but I don't – there's still something missing in terms of, there's a gap between, I watch them and I watch the Packers. I see a gap, right? It's just they don't have quite that level of talent. They're kind of solid all around, but they're not great in any area. Kyler, solid. James Conner, solid. Receivers, solid. Offensive line, solid. Defense, getting better, but who's, is Budda Baker going to be your best defensive player forever? They need guys to emerge there, so I'm not quite ready to put them in the contender category, although they were a surprise team for me heading into the year, and they've lived up to that so far. Are the Cardinals for real? I don't think they're for real. I think they're good, but I don't think they're for real, like a true contender. Type Y for yes or type in for no. And then lastly, the Rams, who are also 2-0 in the NFC West. Probably the best division so far. Seattle's 1-1 and could have beaten San Francisco week 1. I'm going to go contender here because I trust Stafford the most out of the quarterbacks in that division, and we saw this young defense start to emerge last year. I think they've taken another step this year. That defense flies around. They're physical up front, and if Stafford stays healthy, it's a big if, but right now he is. I think I would trust them the most in the NFC West down the stretch and come playoff time to make a run. So I will put them in the contender category, whereas I'm not quite there yet with the 49ers and with the Cardinals at this point in time. So there you have it. Contenders, pretenders, 2 weeks into the season. If you enjoy this video, we could run it back. Prove it to us by subscribing. Maybe every few weeks we do a check-in status and go through that exercise, but definitely a fun little thing to do. We drop videos like this all the time, so hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys soon.